Amberley here. I'm in the wood in my hometown where I was brought up as a kid, so I spent many hours in this wood. And years later I married a timber merchant, so I thought I would just tell you a couple of things about trees that I know, and why I'm wanting to talk about trees is connecting with nature. I think it's going to become really big. I don't mean like commercially, I just mean it's going to be really good for us. We're going to be, with all this change that's coming, or this change that's here, we're going to be changing our priorities a lot, and relaxing is going to be really important, and hanging out in nature as well. So I want to talk to you a little bit about, see this tree here, how it's growing like that, and then these ones here are straight. So this is a tree that it's basically kind of right at the edge here. So what happens with trees is, although it's like that, you can see it then becomes straighter. And what happens with trees is they compete for the light. And so if I show you around here, see we've got all these kind of straighter trees. That's because they can get straight up to the light. They start growing and they can get straight up to the light. And then you get trees that you can see some that are a little bit wonkier. This one's very wonky, and they're having to work harder than some of the other trees to reach the light. So some of them, you see, they've just gone straight up over the years, no problem, and others have had to kind of work with the sort of minimum light that's available to them, and how they can get their needs met. And so this is kind of like how nature competes. Humans don't really compete in quite the same way as nature does. Nature does it as a kind of genuine survival, whereas humans, it's the survival of the ego. So it's a different form of competition, or it's a fun thing like in a sport when you're racing someone. But this is an example of how trees compete, but they get there in the end. So it's not about losing and winning, but this one here, you see, it's had to bend round because of the situation that it's been in, and it's actually you can see it's actually at the bottom as well of a kind of hump as well. So it started off with a harder sort of task, if you like. Okay, and my people always have a hard task. The people I attract are always the people who've had a really like crap hand of cards dealt to them. They've had a tough kind of upbringing. And I'm not calling them the underdog, because not at all, because I'm always amazed by the spirit that people have to overcome some of the most difficult circumstances. And I'm showing you this because you can see this is a tree that's had to do things a bit differently, right? And when you're in nature, start looking and see what the trees are doing, and have a look and see. You'll see that some just go straight up, and they'll grow faster, and they'll be seen quicker. And others have to kind of work around what else is going on to get the light that they need. So we're all working to get what it is that we need. Okay, so just as people work to get what it is that we need. And what that means is that whenever you're in any conflict with anybody, you're meeting someone who's trying to get a need met. Okay, so what is that need they're trying to get met? Because once you work out that it's the same need that you both have, then you can resolve that conflict. The trouble is that when people use things like that knowledge about conflict, or they use this great news that, okay, you mean we can resolve conflict if we work out what the needs are? So if somebody's frightened, then their behavior could cause someone else to be frightened. And so both of them are looking for safety. And whatever their behavior, they're both looking for safety. Equally, there's many other different things. I'm not going to go into it. It's all in my book, 9 Steps to Cloud 9, The Inside Guide to Making Your Dream Come True. So my point here is, and this is an analogy really, is that we all are working to get our needs met. That's what we're basically doing. And if you approach people from an understanding of that, and that need can be to enjoy their life as well, that's an important need too, right? What they create is they're recognizing a need, whether it's something that they need for themselves, or whether they're offering it because they can see that need for other people, and they want to contribute that, because we also all have a need to contribute positively to the greater good. And so that's also a need. So as I'm looking at all these trees, I'm seeing all different shapes and all different kinds and all different sizes. But the strength is in the ones that have to work harder to get the light. Okay, so the ones that go straight up, their timber is not as strong. So when they're chopped down and used for wood, because that happens, okay, then because they grew fast, because it happened fast for them, then the timber isn't as strong. The real tough, strong timbers grew slowly. They grew slowly, and they got their needs met slowly. And so their roots were really important. Their roots got them to be able to be that strong. So as above, so below. So those strong roots are why they are bigger above, and also what they had to do to reach the light is also what makes them stronger. So I would like to hear from you. Does that resonate for you? Are you one of the fast trees? Did you grow fast? Did you just go straight up to the light? Or did you have to work with the other trees and work round and do things differently? So that's why when somebody looks after a wood, they'll cut some down because they are blocking the light for the others. And that's what has to sometimes happen as well in life, is when certain people are working to block light, they have to be taken down, they have to be removed for the greater good. It's not just about ego, it's about the greater good. And that is in the hands of the divine. The divine decides who it is that stays and who it is that goes in certain projects and certain situations. And I'm not one of the ones that's going anywhere. I'm one of the strong trees. I got the strong roots, I got the strong trunk, and I've worked damn hard to get the light, and I'm not giving it up for anyone or anything, because we're talking years and years and years. I'm 55 years old, so if you've been trying to do that, nah, it's not going to work. You don't have my roots, you don't have my life, you don't know what it's taken for me to get to where I am today. So you might laugh and you might scoff, but I'm a strong tree and I don't care. It's like literally like a bird on a branch in a tree. You know, that's how much effect that has on a strong tree. So we have to stay strong in who we are as we face the changes, because then we can still move, we can still flow with storms, we can still have that flexibility, but its flexibility is not falling over. We're not falling over, even though we've got people trying to make us fall over. So I'm just telling you that from a point of view of what spiritual warfare is about, because it's kind of an analogy. I don't want to put any energy in that direction. I'm much more about reaching the light. I believe there's enough for everybody. However, I won't tolerate people who think it's okay to shove people out the way and take on the role of God, because you're not God, even though you think you are. And so we're in interesting times as we compete for light, which we don't need to do, because the light is everywhere and there's plenty of it for everyone, and it's here to help us. And so, that light is also shining a light on the darkness. So we're really understanding and really seeing what's been going on. And we are living in such fascinating times, so enjoy it.